Welcome everyone to our AIM Parenting live stream where we support you in your Montessori journey of nurturing your child's potential.
So, as you know, parenting is a journey, and having the right tools can make all the difference. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, Yogi Patel, a leading voice in Montessori and positive discipline, and she's going to talk all about family meetings and how they can bring more harmony and cooperation into your home.
With over
Thank you so
30
much for
years in
having us.
Montessori. Oh, you're so welcome, Yogi. Yeah, so we're just going to talk a little bit about you and let's see, because you have such a phenomenal background. So with over 30 years in Montessori education and leadership, is that right, Yogi? Because
30 years of
time
leadership and 28
yeah.
years of Montessori.
Wow. So, yeah, as you can see,
Amazing.
everyone, Yogi is a seasoned educator. She's a positive discipline leads trainer. Again, that's not for anyone. And she is also an advocate for child-centered learning. And as a founder of Transformation Through Empowerment, she is on a mission to help parents and educators create respectful, collaborative, and empowering environments for children. Wow, that is quite the mission, isn't it, Yogi?
Yes. As parents, I think we just change our trajectory and join a journey along with our children. And thank you for a really warm welcome and the introduction. I am a trainer for the positive discipline, which happened after I was a first parent, learned about Montessori. And then after opening my own schools for my children, I began to understand some classroom management strategies, and positive discipline played an important role. And then when we started educating our teachers with positive discipline, but then when the parents also got engaged with positive discipline, we were speaking the same language. And I just adored the match. And I do believe keeping Montessori authentic Montessori and using positive discipline principles, which are based on Adlerian psychology, to guide us both. And when we are doing things together at home and school in similar way, not the same, these young ones really benefit because they just feel really capable, or just, they feel relaxed, or they understand what's going on. So it's not so conflicting, confusing.
Absolutely. Yogi, it's such an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And before we dive in, we have got a million questions for you. For those listening who may not have come across the term family meetings before, can you just give a brief explanation of what they are before we dive in?
Family meetings are age appropriate. They are collaborative in nature. Everyone gets to share their opinions and questions and ideas. Solutions are gathered by everyone having a say. So it's not dominated by one person, the adults or the caregivers. Everyone can bring a problem that they have, put it on a clipboard or a notepad, and families decide few times a week or even more to have meetings to discuss these challenges that might be having, or conflicts or confusion. And the solutions are brainstormed. And one is chosen by the person who has the conflict or a problem or a challenge. And then they try that out for a week and they check in on that solution, on how it's going during the next meeting. And these meetings teach invaluable lessons for our children, ability to communicate, have opinion, wait their turn, that development of the will that we speak about in Montessori, ability to clearly understand different perspectives and age, you're giving and you're taking. So it's just family meetings in my homes were just so powerful, and it helps us not deal with the problem in the moment, because how many of us have challenges, something that happens and right there we want to fix it. Family meetings allow us to put it on the table, calm and regulate or gather our emotions. And then when you talk about it, those emotions aren't as strong. So we're able to manage those solutions in a very cognitive or calm way.
I love the fact that family meetings, sorry, I think everyone can hear the seagulls right now. Sorry.
They're very soothing. They're very soothing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, one of the perks of living by the water, apparently. But yeah, Yogi, I love the fact that you mentioned that, like when our lids are flipped and we are in that dysregulated state, we learn and we practice how to wait until the family meetings so we can solve the problem once we are a bit more grounded, once we are calmer, once we have actually digested everything that happens, and we come in a more conscious manner to the table to do that family meeting and really try to discuss this problem, right?
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of the pressure off as well, doesn't it? Because there is, as you say, Yogi, there is this sort of this almost like a fear that if we don't solve the problem with a child in that moment, something terrible is going to happen, or they're going to keep doing whatever it is that we want them to stop doing. And we know that it often backfires when we try to solve a problem, when our lids are flipped and we're dysregulated. So I love this idea of having that kind of cooling off period and just, putting it calmly onto as you say, onto a clipboard or onto the fridge or on a notepad or whatever, and then revisiting it at a time where everybody is in a more regulated state. So powerful, so powerful.
Absolutely. In our Montessori classrooms, right? When there are challenges, if we just fixed everything for our students, what are they going to learn?
Yeah.
What do? We guide them towards another activity, or we invite them to observe. So those are also solutions. And in positive discipline, we're looking at, and you're correctly, what you're saying, it makes so much sense. Because as a parent, I remember being so busy and torn, right? I was either dealing with the chores or taking care of different household things, paying the bills, working with the spouse on supporting our children with drop-offs and pickups and homework and whatever that might be, if they're not in Montessori, and working. So then when the little time that we have at home, the conflicts were most on the rise in the evening when everyone was exhausted and we were trying to negotiate things and deal with situations. So one of the ways that in my family we talked about, we're like, what are we doing? Why are we bickering before bed? And this is the most valuable time, short time that we have in the evening, that my husband just, I talk about this a lot because my husband's a spreadsheet guy. So he really just took all of our expenses and everything that we do and said, where are we spending the most money? What are we doing in our life that keeps us so busy? So he really listed everything we did for, a week, every day. And then we summarized it, and we created a calendar and invited our children to join our chores, cooking, laundry. So we were spending now quality time. And then when problems arose, we were able to, because we took positive discipline by Dr. Jane Nelson and Lynn Lott, and Lynn Lott, who wrote the first book. And taking these parenting sessions helped us understand, all right, make these chores list. And I know we're not talking about chores, but I want to bring that in. And those chores were outlined. They were on our refrigerator and children looked forward to it. Mommy, we're going to cook together. What are we going to make? And, go into the grocery store together. Following week, my daughter and my husband would take care of certain meals while we did the laundry. So switching things up so everyone felt included. And then the problems would happen. I always do this. And my daughter would sing these songs, Cinderella, Cinderella, she just thought she had all the problems of the world. And so we would just say, all right, let's put it on the calendar. We understand validating that feelings that we understand you're feeling really overwhelmed, or we feel like, you think that maybe you're the only one taking care of this. And these are all the things that we do. And we're doing in them this way. Let's talk about it at we used to say dinner time conversation. We made it fun. It was family meeting. But when we say sometimes just, we're going to have family meeting, how does that sound, right? It needs to be inviting. It needs to be something that they feel that they're also bought into.
I'm so glad you brought this up, Yogi. So first, there's so many things that I wanted to talk about what you just said. So first of all, thank you so much for reframing chores and turning them into a special family time and a time of inclusion, a time where children are practicing life skills. This is invaluable. And I truly believe that if more families involved children in everyday life, and obviously there would be chores in it, we wouldn't be having half of the problems that we have today, because children would feel truly connected. They would be building so much confidence as well, because they would become competent in so many things around the house. And that, I think that this is so important. And one last thing that I would love to mention is, yes, I mean, families, especially busy families, and let's face it, family, it's almost like a synonym, isn't it? Family already comes with busy in the name. The ones who say, oh my God, they're like, family meetings, is that one more thing to add to my super busy day, right? And then especially, as I said, it's like the name, family meetings, I'm so glad that you have shown that, yes, it can be renamed, it can just be dinner time conversations, it doesn't need to, we don't need to call it like that. It's like positive timeout, isn't it? We just call it something else, make it our own, and just something special to the family.
I think we can.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Amanda.
No, you go ahead, please.
Thank you. One of the things that I've noticed is we can call it family meeting down the road, but in the beginning, when we're getting the buy-in, it's like, why don't we have this special time? And it's built into the family meeting, right? To do something fun at the end. So we're going to talk about this. And then I want to talk about the holiday that we're going to be taking, and it invites that, like, yes, I want to talk about that. So I can talk about whatever the problems, because when you're shifting or starting something new, we have to go slow and we have to go steady. Consistency is the key as well.
Absolutely. I was going to say, Yogi, so what strategies can parents use to kind of introduce this concept of family meetings? Say they've got a teenager. I can imagine that there may be some resistance you've given us some kind of good ideas about how we can kind of make them more inviting. But if there is, say, a skeptical teenager who just is a little resistant to this idea of coming together as a family, what ideas or tips do you have to share with parents that may have the slightly older child?
Yeah. So I think having older, younger children, because sometimes even the young ones are going to be free-spirited, and definitely as they get older and they want to be with their friends. So one of the things that is the buy-in, having that conversation to say, hey, I know you're so busy and you've got lots going on and I miss you, and I would love to just connect with you, and connecting first with our teens and any age child and saying, I really need your help. We only have this much time before you're off to university, and the time that we have together, this is how I'd like to spend it. You can say it in whichever way is comfortable for your family. And then saying, we would like to connect at least a few times a week. When would you like to? We understand you're busy. When would you think that we can meet? Shall we start just once a week and add on, rather than we're going to meet every day? It's not going to work so well, right? And then also inviting them to say, if they're younger siblings, they're watching and they're learning and they would like to be just like you. So when you show up in these family meetings, they just adore you. And would you be willing to be the person who manages the agenda or keeps us on track for something? What role would you like to play during this family meeting? and also telling them the process that you're not going to, because often teens feel that my parents are going to be there and they're just going to do whatever they want anyways. However, saying, what is the process? Explain the process and share that we are, if we just interrupt, we give you the rights to call us out. Just not call us out in a mean way, but we're all going to have this process. We're going to pass the stick around, and only when you have the stick, you're going to speak. And, all of us will hold one another accountable. And those are some of the smallest things that we can do. And then doing something at the end that, taking turns in the family members on what you would like to do for fun. So it's not that dominated by one person. And then having communication, if it involves money, speaking about the family budget. We spoke about family budgets. So I did talk about that spreadsheet. And my husband said, you know what? We're spending all this money on clothes. Why don't we just give our children this money every quarter in an envelope and invite them to make a decision on where they would like to buy clothing? And, it was so interesting. When it was coming from their envelope, they decided not to spend money on everything. Then little by little at these family meetings, we introduced, going to all the birthday parties. We said, you've gone to these many birthday parties. It's nice to take a gift. And what is the amount of money that you want to spend on gift? Made envelopes for those. And that also became part of the family meeting. And then when they spent those monies, charging them interest, because when they got older, they were going to have credit cards, right? Possibly, but teaching them about debt spending. It happens very young. We started at, grade 1 and 3. My grade 3-year-old, the older one, we wish we had started much earlier, but they're both, very, very much about budgets now. But family meetings are really helpful for a variety of things.
Wow. What impresses me the most is that so many families out there, they're going to be thinking, but why should I with family meetings? But what you just said is, well, you're going to teach your children how to be more collaborative, respectful, how to be held accountable, how to do brainstorming, how to effectively communicate, how to be critical thinkers, how to be more responsible, and even about financial education. I mean, everything is covered in a family meeting, isn't it?
And let's face it, many of these things, Yogi, are not actually taught in traditional schools. So a lot of these life skills, like, family budgeting and all of these life skills. So it really is a lot of the time down to us as a parent, but a lot of parents probably think, well, how and when and what, So this is like the perfect kind of platform for all of these wonderful life skills to be developed.
Sure, certainly. One of the things is, you said, like, parents might say, why should I do this? And my thing is, well, why would you not? Who doesn't want to connect with their young ones? And who wants to just say, you're going to do this tomorrow? I mean, you could do that, but how does that work for you anyways? When you collaborate and when you do this in a very respectful, peaceful way, we're showing respect to one another. We're definitely teaching them problem-solving skills. And Lucy, all those skills you spoke about, as leaders, we need to have those skills to succeed.
Yeah. And who wouldn't want their child to succeed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there was a list of skills put out there. I can't remember by which, it was like the Economic Forum for something or other. And all of those skills, Lucy, that you just mentioned, like critical thinking and problem solving skills, and communication skills were all on this list of what current employers are actually looking for in people that they're going to be hiring.
If families say, I can't be bothered, I'm too busy, how?
Yeah.
Do you think there's still anything that we can say to convince them, Yogi, or maybe we already got their buy-in in the family meetings?
Lucy, I think when parents are very busy, it's easy to say, not one more thing.
Yeah.
And I get that, right? What family meetings and these connecting moments do for us is actually frees up time. And we didn't talk about the freeing up of time. And I'll go again back to my challenges that we had early on, getting dressed in the morning to go to school and choosing the clothing. We speak about this in our parent education in Montessori. We put it in our newsletters. Well, how do we do that? So Johnny is having a tantrum every morning for eating or whatever that may be. Let's just talk about it in our family meeting. We're going to talk about it when we connect 3 times a week in the Patel household, Patel family gathering, Patel family meeting. And during that time, we just said, we're not getting to school on time. What solutions do you have, Amanda? So Amanda, pretend you're a 2-year-old and Lucy, you are a 5-year-old. And Amanda will make you a 2.5-year-old for language skills development. So I'm saying, now I'm going to pass the stick to you, Amanda. And what are some of the things we can do? So by 8 o'clock, we're in the car. What would you like to do?
I want to eat my breakfast first.
Okay, I'll write that down. Lucy, how about you?
I want to bring my toy with me.
Mm-hmm. We'll write that down. And at the end, we'll look at all of those and see how that goes. Okay, so what I just didn't do is correct Lucy and say, Lucy, you can't take your toys to school.
Right? You see, here's the catch, isn't it?
I like that. Oh, and that was me because I wanted to correct my children. Well, that's not going to go over very well. And then my turn might be, maybe I would like to put an alarm clock and then keep going, a few more times, at least twice. And I pass a little stick around, whomever has the stick. So you're going to get the turn. Yes. So now we developed the will, we allowed, and maybe, Amanda, I should have said, and if you don't want to share, you can pass. So maybe if you didn't have the, moment where you had the answer, because maybe you were looking at your older sibling, Lucy, to see what they're going to say. And then maybe we'll do 2-3 rounds to invite them to say, oh, now I know what I have to say, or next time they'll know. So we're developing skills, and we do this not just family meeting, but we also have classroom meetings, not just say everyone get in a circle and invite the whole class, but small groups and allowing other children to continue to do their activities. Because I think this is one of the challenges we feel in a Montessori classroom, like classroom meetings. I don't want to gather. Of course, we don't want to gather everyone and force them into anything. So having small group sessions, having conflict resolutions, and that just reduces the time we're spending in fixing problems, but we're actually educating on how to solve problems.
I love that. Yeah.
It's saving time in the long run. It's not actually about, I don't have the time. It's actually saving time. And I love the way that you were saying, you write down all of these ideas. So a 2.5-year-old that gives their opinion, it's really, it shows that it's really valuable and it matters, and you're writing it down, and it's so important. And yeah, that must give a child so much a feeling of agency and capability.
Yeah.
And Yogi, if you don't mind me asking you, so I'm sure that there's people who are watching us right now and they're thinking, but my child doesn't go to a Montessori school. I don't even have a Montessori school in my area. Can I still suggest my school to implement family classroom meetings?
Lucy, I appreciate you bringing that point up, and my apologies to those who are not in a Montessori program. So we have positive discipline for early childhood educators. We have positive discipline in the classroom for K through 12 teachers. We also have teaching parenting the positive discipline way, and this is through the Positive Discipline organization, positivediscipline.org. And we also have a publisher, positivediscipline.com. So we actually have many centers in early childhood that are sort of, where the teachers, the educators join positive discipline trainings. And we offer experiential activities in sharing how we can lead to family meetings or classroom meetings. So it's not something that you're just going to start doing right away. We're going to first develop other skills, 8 essential skills to a classroom or a family meeting. And obviously you can look for trainings in your area, or there are online trainings. And there is a process. So we can't just first day out of nowhere just say, hey, we're going to have meetings.
Yeah.
We have to teach the essential skills of being able to first offer compliments. So we just start very simple. We're going to appreciate. So if I'm in the classroom, I might say, we're going to look for all the things that are going well in our classroom. And I want you to keep track of it because we're going to start something new. And we're going to be, because tattletaling or telling on one another becomes really, really a big thing when you're young, because you're just children. They just want to belong. We all humans want to belong and be noticed and feel significance and have a belonging in an environment, in a home, in a classroom. So we're going to show up in different ways. So having compliments is the first beautiful way to start. And I would invite everyone to take the training. So I don't want to talk about all the processes right now because you have to develop these skills. And it would look like, Amanda, I appreciated today when you helped me with my lunchbox.
Yes.
And then Amanda, when we're going in circle, Amanda now gets an idea and she might share something that's appreciative of someone else. And when we do that, those who never receive compliments, or those, we talk about bullying a lot, and I'm hearing the word bullying, and it's actually a child who's showing up in that way is a discouraged child. So when someone is discouraged, and imagine when you're doing the compliment and someone says, Mary, who might have done the biting or hitting, has always been called out for things that are considered negative or feeling discouraged for this person. And someone says, this person has helped me with my jump rope or whatever it might be. Imagine the trajectory for this individual. So encouragement goes a long way, and we can start there.
And would you suggest, Yogi, that this is also a way that parents can start their family meetings at home?
Family meetings.
Yeah, using compliments.
Compliments are so beautiful, right? Always noticing something someone's doing well. Now we're looking at, instead of expectations, we're changed that into acknowledgement and appreciation. So when you're starting to be this good finder of goods, right, in the home or in a classroom, now you're noticing things others are doing.
Yeah.
And that gratitude, the kindness, the empathy, all of those are skills that are powerful. And when you also can ask for a compliment as well and say, I've been working really hard on wiping the table after dinner because that's been a job that's assigned to me. And I really want to be appreciated for it. And we're teaching our young ones to also ask for acknowledgement, because often in workplace, what happens? Everything's busy, and there are those who are like constantly speaking might get acknowledged. And if you don't feel like it, you can use your words to ask for what you want or what you need. So I think these family meetings and appreciations go a long way. We're teaching children skills for the future in the moment that we spend. And the challenges would go lower. So we're not spending time with as many challenges. Challenges are always going to be there. We're human beings, right? It's based on our beliefs and perception of what's going on. It's like, oh, I don't feel I'm included, so I'm just going to show up in these ways so I can get attention or feel included. So I hope this makes sense.
It makes
Absolutely.
so much sense, Yogi. And
Yeah.
so my question following what you just said is, so do you think that family meetings, they can obviously like become classroom meetings as well? So from the family to the school setting, can they also be used in the workplace?
Absolutely. We do have team meetings and team problem solvings for empowering people in the workplace. And we have an 18-hour training for that I offer, and many other facilitators and trainers offer. And it was founded by Jane Nelson and Dina Emser. And one of the things that we talk about is, when the solutions are offered, are they respectful, reasonable, and related? Like, when something is so off the chart, and so, because that's one of the fears, like, what if, like, I don't want to give power to solutions to everyone, because what if it kind of takes a turn that I can't control, right? It comes out of fear. But
Yeah.
when we have established those acknowledgments, the one-on-one meetings, being able to connect with our teams in a meaningful way, communication skills, our beliefs, our perceptions, how do we show up as leaders? What are some good bosses that we have, learned modeling from? What are we modeling? Are we modeling something that's actually empowering, or are we enabling or discouraging our teams? And these meetings is where we end up speaking about challenges that we have. Now, when we do that, what do you think is going to reduce in a workplace when the problems are out in the open and we collaborate on them? One thing is gossip.
Yes.
Because now gossip happens when we don't have ability to share challenges that we're feeling, when we don't feel appreciated, when we don't compliment one another or appreciate one another on a job that they're doing, especially if you think, when you don't get your feelings validated, maybe you're doing a poor job, a less job to less of your abilities, or when you're insecure about something. However, when someone gives you feedback, it doesn't always have to be, oh, you're doing a great job, but hey, I notice that you have tried to do this one piece of work that is over and beyond, and I notice you're trying, but I'm here to help you, lending a hand, or just saying, I really noticed that 5 months ago, you were really afraid to speak up, and I really value what you shared at this conversation. Not pointing out maybe 5 months ago you didn't do this, but I've noticed you've grown in your ability to communicate, and it really helps me, because when I hear you speak, it really gets me to say, all right, I'm going to share my voice as well. So I think we're just playing off of one another, and just like a family, in our workplace, it's a team. It's our team. And if we kind of offer similar values to our children, not, age appropriately or space appropriately, but when we're communicating respectfully and modeling the behavior we want to see in our teams and have these problem-solving steps, teams also know openly how we're going to manage something, what is the way we're going to deal with this situation, and know that when we have a problem, we're not alone. We can actually go to a team member and solve the problems through these steps in an effective way and cut the junk out, take out all of the noise or the assumptions out of this challenge that may consistently show up, and just cut it out. And then check in. Hey, how did we do? How are we doing? We've, talked about having this problem solved in this particular way. How are we doing on that? If we're not, we agreed on this, and how are we going to follow up with this? What is your plan on going back to the solution we had in mind? What's not working? Let's talk about it at our next meeting, because it surely seems like we didn't all agree on this solution, so that we can come up with a collaborative way on a problem-solving method that's going to work for everyone.
It's
wow.
so interesting. Yeah, go ahead, Samantha.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I've I've worked in lots of different companies before doing what I'm doing now, and I have never experienced a meeting like that. And in fact, meetings that I used to have to go to were always dreaded by all of the staff because it was very top down. You know, we were never given a voice. If you did speak up, your ideas were often kind of dismissed. And imagine, you know, you walked away just feeling
even worse than before the meeting started.
And so I mean, gosh, you know, and then the rate of, you know, you'd feel disempowered, so your kind of productivity would go down and you wouldn't have such a buy-in in what was going on. So I can imagine, gosh, if I walked into a meeting like that, it would just be so inspiring.
It's such an invaluable investment, isn't it, Yogi? I mean, for companies to start adopting, because I get this from so many people saying, oh, so like positive discipline and like the Montessori, you know, like approach, oh, these are just like for little kids, right? And it's actually not, as you're showing us here. And yeah, I was also thinking about the workplace. Like, I am sure that if more workplaces adopted team meetings the positive discipline way,
yes, exactly,
right, there would be the staff turnover would decrease dramatically. Yeah. There would be so much more commitment, collaboration, because I think that there's still so much competition in the workplace. You know, even if it's just indirectly, it's still there and it's so strong. There would be a bigger sense of community, and that sense of community would bring so much respect to the workplace. And you know, I find this invaluable. And again, it's like it would be, as Amanda said, people would actually be more productive. So again, if employers and leaders are thinking, why should I even bother? Well, would you like your staff to be more productive? Right? Would you like them to generate more income to your business? I mean, and obviously like in a very positive environment and an inspiring environment as well. So it's a win-win scenario.
It's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
I think as well, a lot of people in the traditional kind of meetings are almost scared that their ideas or you know, a mistake perhaps they've made is going to be ridiculed, or, you know, and I know in positive discipline we talk about like mistakes or opportunities to learn, and I can imagine these workplace meetings as well as classroom and family meetings are a way of actually really bringing that to, you know, really putting that into action, that mistakes really are, and it's a safe place. It's a safe place to, you know, to use your voice and to show up as your authentic self.
So I have to add something here as you're speaking. I was that leader who had always been modeled. So my leaders, my mentors in the past always said that, you know, they were the bosses. What they said, I followed. Yeah. And then that belief came into the, you know, places where I operated, where I was a manager, and I've been a manager in a variety of organizations. However, I thought, you know, having the meeting and you had the last say because you knew the company's best interest or the school's best interest, and you knew the whole picture. And what I learned through the empowering people in the workplace, and I love training leaders and managers and supervisors is in this program, is just that, because I know firsthand how I remember, you know, where people were like, oh, another meeting. And I just thought I wanted to connect. I wanted to collaborate. I wanted to bring people into the meeting. And the meetings didn't have to be an hour, which I thought, you know, we have to talk about everything. When we have these team meetings, we already have the processes, because we have the in-service days where we talk about the school calendar, the school plans, these events that are coming, or in our family, we talk about whatever's happening. But when we just narrow down and focus on a few things and always end with something positive, it's something that team members, children, family members, you know, students, everyone's looking forward to this time. And we're actually teaching skills we're learning skills as adults as well, because when you listen to our little ones or other people's perspective, we get ideas we've never thought of because we don't have all the answers. And leaders does not, when you're a manager, doesn't mean you know it all. In empowering people in the workplace, we're able to understand that. And through taking that, I understood a lot about myself and how I was modeling and how I was showing up. And creating this collaborative environment. Leader speaks at the end, and we talk about why in the training as well.
That sounds fascinating. And I just think the name of it, empowering people in the workplace, I mean, just says it all, because so much of the time you don't actually feel empowered in the workplace if you're not, the leader or the manager. So, wow. Yeah. Sign me up for the training. That sounds incredible.
Come in April. I'm offering something.
Anyways, amazing.
Yes, I just have to share something. So since we're talking about this empowerment, often women, I noticed, in many schools, early childhood is focused on so many women. And one of the things I was thinking is International Women's Day is coming up. And I thought, I wanted to empower women. And I was going to do a one-day seminar where folks can come and I would get speakers to empower them. So I created a one-day summit, and I reached out to this one woman who is a global change maker. And she's done a TEDx talk, but she really advocates for environments and communities worldwide, globally. And I spoke to her, and I spoke to Dina Emser, who wrote the Empowering People in the Workplace with Jane Nelson. She says, yes, before I knew it, 15 women came forth, and we're having a summit March 7th through April 4th. It's a volunteer-based summit. The fees that we're going to collect is small, so everyone can afford it. There are 25 scholarships. And why are we doing it? Because when we unite and we support one another, we really can make a difference. We're lionesses, like we are powerful women. And when we hold hands together, we're incredible. So just wanted to share a little bit about that. And I think one of the things that I've learned through my leadership is sometimes we don't like, if we can shift our focus and we want to feel that everyone has a space for leadership in their classrooms, in their home, and just empowering one another to just hold their hands to pull them up versus pushing them down. It's a way to go.
And where can people find out more about this amazing summit you're offering, Yogi? Can they just go straight to your website?
Yes, it's on my website, and there is a tab for Women's Empowerment Summit. I have posted everywhere on LinkedIn. The application is for scholarship is on my website, and it's for women. It's $25 for per session, which is 4 hours, 3 speakers each Friday. And we will record the session, so anyone who can't make it and they're registered, paid, they will have a 30-day video watching option. And the $25 we're collecting is for video editing and hosting of the session. So we're not going out of package, and it's 15 hours for $100. So instead of $125. So we're trying to make it really cost effective. And when the currency transfer isn't possible in different parts of the world, we have the scholarship options.
That's so wonderful. And I was thinking, Yogi, so if there's people who say, but I'm not a leader, let's say, there's a teacher or maybe a teacher assistant, right? It's still the workplace, but let's go back to the school. If they say, no, but I'm just a teacher assistant.
No one is just a teacher. You are a CEO of your classroom. You are in charge of 20, 30 students and your assistant and all the parents that are in your classroom. You're the manager. You're managing day to day. And the assistant teacher, you're not just an assistant guide. You might not give lessons to the students, or you might be a support person. You're supporting a classroom. You too are a VP of that classroom, vice president. and you report to so many, you report to others, but others are under your care. So I think leadership is leadership. Even your oldest child in your classroom or those who are supporting others are emerging leaders in my eyes. So I think when we shift the focus on seeing ourselves, in Adlerian psychology, we speak about inferior, superior positionality. When we think only, we're all here to contribute in our own way, using the strengths that we have. And imagine when we use this strength, each person, each student, each family member, each team member brings. And when we have a problem to solve, and when we say, how am I going to use all these skills? And we put that puzzle piece together, we get the complete picture. So if we can really start to drive in this direction, it's more democratic. And I'm not speaking of the US, Republican Democratic, but it's cohesive in manner. I think we go farther together. We know these sayings, and what this is practicing truly in true sense. And there is research, by the way, on the positivediscipline.org website on the value of problem solving, having teachers helping teachers problem solve, or team members helping team members solving problems, or parents helping parents problem solving skills. We can fine tune understanding behaviors, looking at role playing and solving problems. When we do solve problems in this way, they're long term, it changes the family dynamics from discouragement to encouragement, empowering situations, leadership, team leaders as well. It transforms communities. So if something transforms communities, why wouldn't we look at it a little bit and, just even read a book? If you don't want to take a training, it's fine. There are so many powerful things out there. There are conferences. There's a conference in think tank in Dallas. Conferences open to parents, caregivers, teachers, and then the think tank is for all the facilitators, all the members.
Amazing. And actually, on that note, Lucy and I have got a 6-week empowered parenting course coming up on the 1st of April. So yeah, if anyone is interested, if there are any parents out there listening that want to learn these incredible skills and tools, and one being obviously family meetings, really go to AIM's website under AIM Parenting and have a look at the Empowered Parenting course. We're so excited to share these incredible tools with you. So yeah, as you say, Yogi, there is so much going on worldwide that people can get involved in wherever they are on their journeys. So that's really, really exciting.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I think that we are all leaders at the end of the day, aren't we? So like, no matter our position at work, no matter what is our place in our family, I think we are all leaders. So, because there's so many people say, oh, but, I'm not a leader. I don't think this is it. This is for me. So thank you so much, Yogi, for giving everyone the agency to say, no, it's for me. I'm okay with that. And I'll do it. Right. So this is amazing. Yeah.
We have free resources also, Lucy, if I can share. If you look under Yogi Patel TTE, it's also on my website, yogipateltte.com. I have blogs, I have newsletters, look at family meeting articles, look at the YouTube videos. So my handles are always Yogi Patel TTE, Transformation Through Empowerment, on YouTube, podcast, where there's some videos with Jane Nelson, Dr. Jane Nelson, and a few other folks. We're talking about family meetings. We're talking about some of these tools. So if it's easier for you to watch a 10-minute video or a 1-minute video, my goal is to just share as much knowledge about positive discipline, Montessori, education in general with others. So it could just enrich their life as it has mine, because my life has been just so fulfilled And my children are 28 and 30.
Wow.
And we look back and we said we were just so blessed to have had the tools on navigating parenting and then leadership and running schools. And thank you for this
Amazing.
opportunity to speak to you.
I'd just like to also mention your 2 podcasts, not one, but 2 podcasts, which I love. One is called Now What? And that's more kind of, that's for sort of parents and teachers, isn't it? That's geared towards and school leaders. And then
Yes.
Jagged Edge. And I just love the title of this one.
It's really cool. I love it.
Yeah. I have the film in my mind as well, but I know it's as far removed from that as possible. But Jagged Edge, so that's focused on leadership. Am I
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. Yes, you are right.
Yeah. And one thing that I love, one thing that I love about Yogi's podcast is that you have the long version and you have the short version, and then you still go on socials and you have an even shorter version. So there's just no excuses, right, Yogi? I mean, there's a little bit for everyone to just, like gain all the knowledge that you are so kindly and so generously sharing with us. And we couldn't be more grateful to you, really, because I know.
I feel honored to have connected with you, Yogi. And, as we've said to you before, you're a mentor to Lucy and I. And, we've just put out our mini course. You might remember that we were talking about
yes,
putting out a mini course, and we've just completed that, and it's now live, and it's for sale on the AIM website. And we did it. And you gave us such an interesting you gave us such an interesting kind of perspective on how to kind of approach it, and we're so grateful to you for that. So thank you so much. And just thank you for actually, before we wrap up,
Yogi, is there anything that you would like to share with us, or anything, any golden nugget you would like to leave to our audience? Just take it away, Yogi.
I would be happy to. And Amanda and Lucy, thank you for talking with me about your idea and really having the courage to complete your recording and having your class, your course put out there. Because for me, it's all about the intention of supporting other individuals have quality life and having fun raising their children. So I made one thing that I'd like to say to my audience is I make a ton of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I get stuck with my words. I don't know everything. But one thing that I have learned is courage to just try it. So just try anything and everything, because not one thing will fit all, right? So just have the courage and find mentors, find people that inspire you. Be in the company of people who think you're the hottest thing ever. Invite someone who believes in you to be in your life and be that for someone else. And truly encourage others around you, because when we do that, when we feel better, we're going to do better, according to Jane Nelson and all the Adlerians. When we have social interests and not just self-interest, when we're supporting our communities, we're going to transform the way our children are raised, the world that we leave behind. And there's nothing like creating spaces where our young youth is going to be able to live, like this earth. And when I go into a classroom, it's inspiring, because our young children, you look at them, how kind they are, how beautiful they are. And if we can just keep that flame burning, we are going to have an amazing world, and we can conquer anything. And there are our hopes. So thank you for listening and just being here and having me just blabber on with you. Hope one thing was inspiring for you today.
Wow, no, it's actually been so many things, Yogi. I think it would be like another 50 odd minutes for us to share everything that has inspired us.
And what a hopeful message to end on. I mean, you know, with you know, you can look at the world out there and just think, oh my gosh, there's no hope. But Yogi, you have just inspired us and given us optimism and filled us with hope. And it's truly been such an amazing conversation. Thank you so much. I know, Lucy, I'm sure you feel exactly the same, but my heart is filled at the moment, Yogi. So thank you.
Definitely. So if
Thank
you would like to know more about Yogi, just go to her website. I would highly recommend following her socials as well. And yeah, just be in touch, right, Yogi? Because you are one of those people that you really want to have in your circle. You want to be surrounded by good people, right, Yogi? And you are definitely one of them. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing all of this beautiful knowledge and experience that you have with us and the world. So thank you so much, Yogi.
Thank you. And everyone read Courage to be Disliked.
Yes. You know what? It's funny. I was going to say, like, should I ask her if she wants to just share like which books she thinks would be great for people to read?
Yeah.
So yeah. So can you say the name again, please, Yogi?
Yeah, and the author.
I wish I could tell you the name of the author this second, but it slipped my mind. But it is an Adlerian psychology. It's a book. It's called Courage to be Disliked, and it's written by a Japanese Adlerian. And why I love this book, I have lived part of my life feeling sorry for myself, being a victim, and I've spent half of my life being a warrior for myself. And a person who can just keep on ticking, you know, I don't know anything about podcasts. I don't know anything about social media, but just courage to just do it and just accept all of me as it is. And that book is just going to really bring things into perspective for you. And you're going to sort of get these nuggets and just free yourself from all these whatever. I mean, for me, it was negative thoughts or negative self-limiting beliefs, and just invited me to say, well, just do it. My husband always says, just do it. You know, I didn't know. I was a mother. I was working in corporations. And then my husband said, just become a teacher. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to become a teacher, and became a Montessorian. So all of us choose the path that brings you joy. Make joy the possibility and say yes. Stop saying no to everything. Just say yes.
I love that.
I love it.
Yes. That's what we're trying to do here. The Courage to be Disliked is by, excuse my my accent, but Fumitake Koga and Ichiro. So
Ichiro.
Yeah. So that's the next one on my Audible list. So I'm very excited about that. So again,
if you're busy parents, listen to it on Audible. There's no excuses,
it's great.
No excuses. So thank you so much, Yogi. I hope you have a wonderful day. You know, it's quite early still. So yeah, and again, thank you so much for coming. And thank you everyone for watching us, for listening to us. It's always such a pleasure to be able to spend this time with you.
And see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. Bye for now.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Yogi. Bye.